Hello and welcome! This is the Hack the Dino Gaming Cast, brought to you by Hack the Dino. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, says some old dead racist white guy. But we're not going to worry about that now. We've got special guest here. Brayden's back!
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful holiday season.
Our Millennial Falcon
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
rides again. What?
He was kind of sounded like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, it was a bit wholesome children's TV.
It was very.
Well, there's one
Won't
thing
you be my neighbor?
we don't do here.
It's
at
wholesome.
Hack the Dino. It's wholesome.
Be nice and friendly.
At all. Incidentally, I had one of the watchers of our show at the Toy Fair come up to our table where Floppy and I were standing, and this lady brought her son and said, "Oh yeah, he's a really big fan of yours." And I went, "Oh."
And the kid was like 9.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. And she goes, yeah, there's some awkward conversations you caused. So, I think it was Lisa and her son, I just want to say,
Sorry.
nope, cock balls, big, bouncy boobs.
Game Boy Dad has not watched the show in like 6 weeks, and now he's already turned off.
Welcome back to this absolute wank fest.
I'm the foul-mouthed Ben Rosenthal, and I'm joined here by our guest, Brayden Dixon. Well, not really a guest, just a semi-host.
Yeah.
Semi-host.
Yeah, I'd describe myself as a semi.
How is it that I'm the most wholesome one here?
And Mr. Wholesome himself, Floppy's here.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry.
I'm not. And we, of course, got the master of the mayhem.
Disaster?
Yeah, mayhem. Anto. Look at that. Look
Not
how
saying anything because then you can't turn
Excellent
it dirty.
for the audio podcast.
yeah. Look how insane.
Yeah, no,
he is.
I was playing up to the whole, audio podcast thing where I always refer to stuff that people can't see.
And he just
leaning
gets me
into
really
it.
angry.
You know what that means? They should probably just watch the show.
Yeah.
But do you know what that also means? It means that segues happen. And this segue is all about how it's our end of year special. And like always, we are going to go through the year of 2022. A lot less deadly viruses going around, or so
True.
the media has us to believe. It's still out there, folks. You're just ignoring it.
It's so out there. It's out there like Jeff Keighley.
Have we all had it?
I haven't.
Jeff Keighley?
I haven't.
I've had Jeff Keighley.
We've all had Jeff Keighley.
Jeff Keighley was over here recently, and we feasted on several toddlers. It was a good time. He bought a whole smorgasbord. And don't worry, it wasn't anything gross. They were dead already. We just ate their carcasses.
So, turns out that Game Boy Mum has a crush on Brayden.
Who? Sorry, what?
Game Boy
that's
Dad,
lovely.
Game Boy Mum.
Thank you.
Oh, really? Oh,
I mean, it's hard not to. Look at those luscious locks.
I reckon.
I shouldn't do that. I need to wash my hair.
Do you know what's
Do it again.
really awful? Like, horrible?
Not having hair.
That's where I was going. The fact that I am on a podcast with 3 of the greatest hairstyles I've ever seen, such luscious, thick locks. Like, I'm not going to lie. I keep looking at all you guys in the back of the heads trying to find a bald spot so I can get some kind of... it's receding! It's receding!
There it is,
But
there
no,
it is.
No, it's not happening. So,
I give myself 2 years and then I'll start to go as grey as Floppy. So
but
And
grey's
then
fun.
it even gets better, mate.
It does. That's where all your wisdom points come into
that's
play.
when the curtains
True.
snap.
What are we doing? What is it? Anyway, we're going to go through the...
Forgot
the-
where we were.
Awards, video games.
Video Game Awards. We're going to go through each month of the year, as well as announce the winners of our annual fan-voted GOATSY Awards. Of course, GOATSY stands
Game
for
of the Sexy Year.
Game of the Sexy Year.
Is that
GOATSY,
really? I was reading through the run sheet before and I couldn't remember what it meant.
yeah, Game of the Sexy Year. The GOATSY Awards. Whatever you do, don't look up GOATSY on the internet.
No.
Unless you like CDs.
Or Hack the Dino's award shows.
No, you can look that up. But we have had the Hack the Dino Awards out for voting for a very, very long time, at least 2 weeks. And we actually had a record number of people vote this year. So thank you if you did vote.
Thank you, all those 11 people.
Too real, Floppy, too real.
But of course, you can catch us over on Spotify, on YouTube, and all those things. Just search Hack the Dino, or better yet, go to hackthedino.com where you can follow, share, subscribe, do all that. You can also pick up some cheeky little merch, can't you, Floppy?
Yeah, I'm 2 steps ahead of you, man. I've been doing that for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, damn.
It's a great design. Brayden, any idea who designed that?
Oh,
that wonderful mug.
Someone in the 1980s.
Well, yes, some designer who got paid probably $1.50 which then got plastered all over some toys.
Then you changed the lettering.
And then it definitely wasn't stolen by a young 20-something in the 20s. Yeah, I totally didn't steal that design.
And now you can buy one for $10.
Don't come
So,
at me. Speaking of very quickly, speaking of Dino Riders, I just want to give a quick recommendation. If you haven't watched the 65 trailer yet, I just made these lot watch it, and I'm sending the video of them reacting to it, so you can probably find that on Discord or something.
oh, really?
Oh, did you?
take a
I
video of
took
us?
a video of you guys reacting because I knew that there's a moment in the middle of that trailer where you guys would flip.
And we
I
did. It was
Very
great.
clever.
All right, so we should probably crack on unless we want to talk about what we've been playing briefly.
Carcon?
Yeah, I did. So I knew- cool word.
I've been playing Gotham Knights as I have been. I am now, I think, 35 to 40 hours in.
Wow.
Damn.
I've been playing Pokemon Scarlet a lot, trying to complete my Pokédex. I think I've got 6 more Pokemon to go before it's completed. I've put 60 hours into it.
How much
Sorry,
of
it's
that
not
was redoing the same thing
After it's
bug
glitched out,
crashed the
yeah.
game?
Well, it doesn't save after you do that, so you're fine.
Perfect.
So you've actually put out about 120 hours.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's
Brayden.
so broken.
I just finished replaying through God of War 2018, and I am now probably 10 or 12 hours into God of War Ragnarok, and holy shit, I love that game already.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Oh my god,
Have you
that
played it?
first hour
haven't.
of Ragnarok is unhinged. And I've only seen him once so far, and I don't feel like this is much of a spoiler, but the actor and the performance of Odin
Oh, so good.
is stunning.
Do you know why he took that part? Because his son loves the first God of War,
Perfect, good.
and he'd never heard about it before.
God.
But he asked his son, and his son just said, "Yeah, do it.
You have to do
yeah,
it."
do it." It's much like I was listening to Kojima's podcast.
Yep.
He had an interview with Jeff Keighley. And they were,
really?
I know, right? And they were just talking about how they locked in all the stars for Death Stranding.
Yep.
And Kojima said that he wanted to get Mads Mikkelsen on board. Mads knew who he was, but didn't really know anything about it. His son was a huge Kojima fan, though.
Oh, perfect. That's
so
so good.
he basically did it so his son could meet Kojima.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I mean-
you just know Kojima's sitting there going, that's right.
Again, that's the time. Like, you hear these things about, like, people who have never heard of this Marvel character before, and then they tell their family, and their kids are like, you have to do it. And it's like, yeah, I love hearing stories like that. It's so wholesome.
And
so,
so-
yeah, you get great stuff in God of War Ragnarok. It's really good.
Anto,
Hello.
what have you been thumbing?
Well,
what
the
you-
usual stuff, but I also tried out last week the Forspoken demo,
Oh!
which I was expecting to not enjoy based on all the feedback from the internet, but I'm rapidly learning again that the internet is made up of idiots.
What?
That's why we're here.
Literally
why
just a
we're
big
here.
pile of idiots stacked one on top of each other.
Yeah, like the demo was really poorly received by the majority of people on like Facebook and other forums and stuff. And I was like,
Facebook,
okay,
very
that's
trustworthy
disappointing.
site.
But I gave it a go, played for about 2 hours, which it's a 15-minute demo, but I was having a lot of fun with the parkour and running around the world.
How's... I'm not the greatest math person, but how do you get 2 hours out of 15
Is that
minutes?
like giving off vibes of like just swinging around the city in Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was basically like, it's called magic parkour. You hold down a button, and she just dips and dives over rocks and over canyons and swings from trees and all sorts of cool stuff.
I like this.
The combat is really satisfying once you get a hang of it. It's a little weird to begin with because it's all magic based. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was expecting to cancel my pre-order for it after playing, and I'm actually on board and ready to play it when it comes out.
Damn.
Speaking of which, after the show, guess which one of the dinos has got an early access to Street Fighter 6, baby? That's right, we can crack open some Street Fighter 6 after and play some good times. I might stream
oh, it's
it.
not me?
No, it's me. If I have time on the weekend, I might stream it.
Do it.
Because we're allowed to. But I'm super keen to.
Are you?
And
Because
to
there's been other
surprise
things that we
no
bought
one.
over the counter and streamed. And
Yeah, well, I made sure I read all the rules this time, and they've specifically said yes, you can stream. But anyway, we should crack on with the show because it's
How
a big one.
dare you?
It's been a crazy year.
Gotsy!
Been a crazy year.
So let's start off with January. You remember January? It's the first month. On January
Every year?
18th, Microsoft announced its intent to acquire Activision Blizzard for $69 billion US. It's not been finalized yet, and recently, as in last week, the FTC has filed to stop the sale. From what I've read, the sale will pretty much still go ahead. It's just ironing out those things that they can't. In order to sweeten the deal, I think Microsoft has said to Sony, look, you can still have Call of Duty. In fact, we're giving it to Nintendo. If we're going to give it to Nintendo, we'll give it to you as well.
Yeah, I don't know how much you guys have been following this, because it feels like every week there's a new update on it. Just how much back and forth and weird shit they've been saying about everything here. Like Microsoft, this multi-billion-dollar company, it's just, or trillion, I don't know how much it's at the moment, but like them being like, oh, but we're just trying to grow a bit and be better. And the internet's like, you guys don't make any exclusives.
Yeah.
What are you complaining about? You have money. What are you doing?
You are literally richer than all the
been-
companies put together.
It's been wild just watching the aftermath of everything going on and
Yeah.
just seeing how everything's reacting to it.
I think you need to quote Nicolas Cage.
Bees!
Too many self-indulgent wieners with too much bloody money.
Damn.
And bees.
Good quote.
Anto, what do you reckon of this
Name
whole
that film.
amalgamation?
I think, contrary to popular opinion, I guess, I think people are missing the distinction that the Xbox gaming division is a lot smaller than Microsoft as a whole.
And they are separate companies, technically.
Yeah, exactly. And if Sony can run around and force exclusivity deals with Square Enix for, Final Fantasy and a bunch of other stuff and buy, other companies up willy-nilly, I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't be allowed to do it. But at the end of the day, why doesn't everyone just put everything on every platform and shut up?
Because money. And the one rule of this society is you do not mess with the money.
Because Nintendo.
Never mess with the money.
And yeah, you're right, Floppy. Nintendo would never just go, yeah, sure, Xbox, you can have Zelda.
Never.
Nintendo have written the book on exclusives to the point where you don't even have to finish them.
You don't even... But it's funny because you hear of Sony having exclusives and Microsoft having exclusives. You're like, man, that's a bit... You go like Mario, you're like, yeah, Norris.
Yep.
It's not even a question, is it?
You never expect Mario to be on anything.
I mean, to be fair, though, I've worked video game retail a couple of times and I've had an uncountable number of parents come in and be like, is Mario on Xbox? And it's like, well, no, but...
But you do the same thing every time. You go, idiot.
But also there's a part
In my
of you
head.
that's like, imagine that world where everything's so peaceful that Mario is on a different console.
It's
Mario
that
has been on
perfect
different
utopia
console.
that I was talking about earlier.
Mario has been on a different console.
Okay, what?
What?
Atari
2600.
2600.
Something this generation, please.
No, or even one of the last 8.
Hey, that wasn't the prerequisite to the question. On the 28th, we had the release of, I think, my personal game of the year, Pokemon Legends Arceus. This was super fun. I don't know who else played it. I think I may have been the only... Oh, Anto did.
I watched some people play it.
You watched it? A lot of fun. Broke the mold of what a Pokemon game actually was. I think it is definitely a lot better than Scarlet.
Plus side, it worked.
Yeah, but that's always a good starting point. I think the hub worlds were a much better idea than having complete open world, especially if they're having so much bugs and whatnot.
Completely agree with that.
But yeah, hell of a lot of fun. Well worth the 80s, I think it got. And I really hope for a sequel sometime soon. Surely they will, because Nintendo and Pokemon love money.
They do. I didn't play that one. I got burnt out on Diamond.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. Diamond, because it was such a faithful remake, you were using game mechanics from 2008, and that's 15 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone here has ever tried to play Witcher 1 recently. But
I never even tried. How did it go?
I got through 5 minutes, and 4 minutes of that was a cutscene. It was not good.
On the 31st of January, we had Sony Interactive Entertainment announce that it would be acquiring Bungie for a cool $1 billion. The deal was closed on July 2022.
I completely forgot this even happened.
Same.
Me too.
Yeah, they own Bungie now.
So under the rug.
I didn't forget it happened. I just didn't want to spoil this talking point a minute ago.
And speaking of acquisition, this year has really been the year of acquisitions. New York Times acquired the viral browser game Wordle for an undisclosed seven-figure sum.
Wasn't that a big thing for a hot minute?
I still play it every day.
So I love the fact that the New York Times spent so much money getting this game,
Getting
that went
a game
viral so quickly, and now that they own it, that's the first time I've heard of someone playing it recently.
Same. Ben is the person I know that plays it
It's
on a
a-
regular
hilarious to
basis.
me.
It's a great word game, and I just like little quick brain teasers you can sit there and do. I do it after I do my Japanese lessons in the morning.
I will give a very quick shout out because it was literally a video that was posted this morning. Channel Nerd Cubed is doing his advent calendar award season for December, and he just did a award which was titled the Dyslexic Mario Award, and that was given to the best browser game. And if you guys aren't following this guy, he's hilarious.
I get it.
Yeah.
Bowser.
Yeah. So he gave that to a Wordle variant, and he did a quick little discussion on how like there were a million Wordle variant and copies and stuff where it was like name that movie, name that song, do this other stuff. And he like I think the most fun that came out of not only just the sheer popularity of Wordle at the start and the virality of it was just how quickly all these other incredible little games came out.
The best one they had was one called Hurdle.
Hurdle.
Have you heard of that one?
No. Oh yes.
Oh
the
yes, I
song
like that one. I like
No. Hurldle. I'm spelling
U with a U.
U. Yeah. HURLDLE.
Okay.
I don't know.
So what
that
it is, you have to try and get. It's an audio one. You
one.
have
Is
to
that
try
the
and
second
guess.
of a song?
Kind of, but like what it is you have to try and guess what the person's saying as they hurl their previous night's drunken escapades
See, I
into
knew
a
you were going
toilet.
to do that, and I was trying to make it not work for you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You know what I learnt what DNA stands for yesterday.
Oh yeah.
National Dyslexic Association.
Shit, that's a good one. That's a classic. That's what that is. I felt the 80s come back with that one. That was good.
You're welcome.
Floppy,
I mean, no disrespect to anyone who does suffer from dyslexia. It's horrible and makes life hard.
hey Floppy. Speaking of being hard,
Yes, mate.
what happened in February?
Oh, I can't tell you that. It was a secret.
Show me the video.
There was a video. It was in private and by accident. A bunch of stuff. Actually, a bunch of big stuff. Well, not a bunch of stuff. Very few things happened, but some very big things.
Jeez, you walked that back quick. This was the best year in gaming ever. It was okay.
It was alright. Oh, shit.
Who are you, Jeff Keighley?
Okay, so February 15th, we had Cyberpunk 2077 PS5 update.
Yes. Now, who's cracked on into the PS5 update?
So,
I'm assuming Dan has.
Dan.
It's not here.
Dan-
I haven't.
Dan was so deep in Cyberpunk. He has completely finished it now. He absolutely loved it until the last, 2 minutes. But that's
that
a
was
story
due
for
to
Dan to tell.
And that was due to decisions, not so
yeah,
much
it's a multiple choice.
Did he have
thing.
much to say about how the game played in comparison
Oh, he just
to
loved it.
released?
He just loved it.
Yeah.
Dan is a very Dan loves intense and great looking graphics,
Yeah.
but he also loves his jank.
Yes.
If
So
something janky's happening, he's just going to laugh at it.
yeah, he's in a perfect world there. Anto, did you crack into the PS5 update at all?
I haven't touched Cyberpunk personally since launch. Like, I haven't ever tried it. I'm planning on it now that the PS5 version is out and has been subsequently patched.
Same.
I'm thinking I should give it a go.
DLC featuring
And
sexiest man, Idris Elba.
if you're worried that you haven't got it, don't worry. CD Projekt Red is releasing a Game of the Year edition of Cyberpunk.
Yep.
How can they get away with that?
I mean, it was the notorious game of the year. I guess that counts.
Yeah.
It was
Incidentally,
a game.
Look, everyone I know that's actually played it at length loved it.
yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
It's that world. It's that.
Yeah, they did an
yeah.
amazing job of creating a world and things. Like, it was just, unfortunately, it released quite glitchy.
What percentage of the people who did play it and love it, though,
PC?
have got more than 100 hours in The Witcher 3?
I don't think Dan's ever touched Witcher.
I don't.
Dan's-
Yeah, I don't think so.
I actively,
people that I know, I don't
actively
know.
that I'm going to enjoy Cyberpunk. I'm just going to pick it up when that DLC comes out,
Yeah.
so that I get the whole thing. But I know I'm going to enjoy that, and The Witcher triggered my anxiety in the opposite way that Breath of the Wild did, where Breath of the Wild had no objectives on your map or screen, and then The Witcher had too many objectives on the map and screen, and it was just too much. So yeah,
Just as an aside, has anyone seen the anime?
No, I haven't.
Edge
yet.
Runners.
I really should.
looks really good.
I've almost watched all of it.
Oh,
Amazing.
You almost
Really
got around
good.
to watching all of it, or you've watched a lot of it and you're nearly finished.
No, I've probably got 2 or 3 episodes left to go. Really good. Looks really pretty. Don't hold back. really good writing, really good story, really great characters. Yeah, I can understand how that coming out sort of boosted.
Yeah, that was huge for them.
But it's totally standalone as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so people have asked for a sequel, and CD Projekt Red's gone, no, sorry, it's a standalone thing. We might do another anime set in there, that world, but that story is done, and I really respect that.
I also very much respect that.
Not long after Cyberpunk came out, the PS5 update. One of my games of the year came out, Horizon Forbidden West, on the 18th of Feb. And I ended up putting, I think it was, according to my wrap-up on PS Plus, I think it was 95 hours into this.
Nice.
Wow.
Which is a lot for me, like a stupendous amount for me. So I finished it. I rolled credits. I'm on a thing where I'm trying to finish games now, the ones that I play.
Crazy.
I know, right?
Crazy, man.
Fantastic game. One of my, I want 2018, was it 2018? 2017.
2017 was
2017.
My game of the year that year. This one was up there with one of my games of the year this year.
Incidentally, I don't know if you caught last show, Brayden, but we did a recap of what our predictions for 2022 was.
Ooh.
And you won.
I won.
You won.
Yeah.
I think the one that you got, we gave you bonus points for because what was the exact quote? It was
I'm pulling up the run sheet. Hang on.
it was something along the lines of Horizon Forbidden West will come out only to be completely forgotten about by an RPG coming out a week later.
Oh my god!
And you nailed all of that.
Oh my god! That's so funny. Oh
Which
my
we say
God.
because a week later, Elden Ring came out.
Like it was literally 5 days later, Elden Ring came
No,
out.
7 days.
7 days, was it?
7 days. A week
Yeah,
later.
here we go. I've got the quote. Brayden's prediction was, Horizon will once again be completely overshadowed by the release of an open-world fantasy RPG releasing exactly a week after it.
It's like you looked into the future.
We all know the truth is Brayden is from the future
my
and should probably
God.
be killed.
Got that? Yeah, I'm a risk. I come here to warn you. Elon Musk is toot. No,
It is right now that you will hand over the Grey Sports Almanac.
my copy of Game Informer.
I had the grey spot
Of course you do. But on the same day as Elden Ring coming out, the Steam Deck was also released.
Oh, I would love a Steam Deck.
Yeah, I really want
Really?
to talk about this in depth later.
I think we'll do that later, though.
Yeah, because
It's going to come up in
there's so
another
much in
reading.
this show, and I have a lot to say about Steam Deck.
All right, cool.
That was February. So small but impactful February.
And what about that last one?
Elden Ring.
Did I said Elden Ring
You
came out.
mentioned it in passing, but like
Yeah, but it was
Elden Ring came out. It was like
Elden
the
Ring.
biggest thing since sliced bread.
I think
for, like,
someone is a
half the people.
bit bitter that his game once again got overlooked.
Someone is bitter because the better game got overlooked by another same game.
I'm not bitter. I'm happy for everyone.
I'm talking. Oh, I'm bitter.
Oh, right.
I
Okay.
know.
Fluffy,
I'm
I feel
bitter.
like that's the wrong argument to take because Horizon Forbidden West is the exact same as Horizon Zero Dawn, and
But it
Elden
was
Ring
better.
is also the exact same as every other FromSoft Dark
That's
Souls. Like,
it's not technically true. I will argue that point. Forbidden West changed its combat a little bit.
oh,
It did.
It had
Gave
like
you new
actual
mounts?
combos and like cool stuff you could do in combat instead of just mashing one button.
You can hide in trees now.
And Elden Ring added a horse.
hey, people fucking love that horse, man.
So what? Freaking Zelda had a horse back in 1996.
Tell you what, Elden Ring is not my type of game in the slightest. I do enjoy watching people play it.
Is it a bit spooky for you?
It's not too bad because when you watch someone do it, you just get to watch them react to it,
Ah, right.
and they get to freak out about it. Again, Nerd Cubed. I've been watching his playthrough of it, and he started playing it and was going for leaning into a magic build, and then came across an item and then went really hard into just becoming Wolverine
Cool.
because they found Wolverine claws
Oh, cool.
and you
All
could
right.
dual wield them.
Yeah.
And so they stopped their magic build and just started becoming Wolverine.
That's awesome.
So
That is awesome.
and I watched that and I was like, okay, I get why people like Elden Ring.
You know what I think it's time for? I think it's time for we award our first award in the Goatsies. Anto, do you want to do the honors?
I will do the honors. So our first award was most graphics. Yeah. So
Do you just want to explain what that is? I've got just under each title, I've got a description of what that award actually means.
yeah, so Ben's aptly described description of the award of most graphics is the award that goes to the game which easily had the most graphics.
The most graphics. I can't stress that enough. The most graphics, these games.
So many graphics.
The most.
The most.
Not the best or the
Just the
worst.
most.
The most.
And these are voted by you, our beloved hackadactyls.
Yes.
So don't come at us.
Did you guys vote? Were we supposed to vote?
I voted to make a tie, not be a tie, but that's about it.
I voted as well, but like I don't know. Yeah. So games
should
that
have
were
voted.
nominated were God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, A Plague's Tale Requiem. I'm pretty sure that's a Plague Tale Requiem, not Plagues.
No, Plagues, there's more than one. It's a sequel.
Gotham Knights, Elden Ring, Need for Speed Unbound, which I returned last week because it was garbage, and Cult of Lamb, which I'm pretty sure is meant to be Cult of the Lamb.
Sorry, just my typo aside, I just heard 2 jaws drop the ground.
What?
Need for Speed Unbound is bad.
You.
I mean,
have
incorrect,
No
but-
soul.
Visually, it looks fine, but gameplay-wise, it's garbage. Anyway, let's move on.
King of the bad takes.
So, winner of the Most Graphics Award, as voted by the
That's gonna
Hackadactyls,
sound so bad in the mic.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that. Don't think
with
about those things.
40.71% of the vote,
Oh, that's a lot.
goes to Horizon Forbidden West.
Yay! Easily. Well done, Horizon, for winning something this year.
Ashley Bird, she worked really hard on those graphics.
Ashley Birch, yeah, great job.
Great
Okay,
job.
jumping
Those
into
polygons.
March. The weather was fine, and people, whatever. Tunic was released on the 16th of March, and that was a good, fun game. We've talked about Tunic a lot.
I looked at this for the first time the other day because I forgot it came out.
Zelda like Fox.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do though.
and
Zelda
as I
Souls.
mentioned previously, the best part of this game is the fact that you have all your moves from the start, but you don't actually learn how to do them unless you collect the pages for the manual.
Yeah, the
Is
manual.
that why I couldn't do anything?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's got its own little language that they made. It's
That's actually cool
really
now that I know
impressive.
and
that.
it tells you the buttons in order to make everything. It's like a side quest to go and get all those little things.
Such a fun take on that.
I pulled it down off Game Pass, but I didn't know that. So I was like, why do I feel so dumb? I can't do anything.
Well, there you go.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
On the 25th, a game I didn't play, and it's kind of weird that this game came out at this time, but Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Floppy.
Played it, finished it. Such a good time. Carby, I'm right there for you.
Yeah.
No, this game was great. This was so much fun. Just the right amount of like cheesy comedy, just the right amount of puzzle, not too hard. I could play it with my kids. They enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was the right length. It was.
How long is it?
I reckon I played with my kids, so it probably took a little bit longer because I did let them do it. Or we probably spent 8 or 9 hours on it. But I had a fair bit of that. I was trying to help my kids do things, and they're quite young.
That has been the main thing I've heard about this game is that like everyone I listen to from the video game industry or even just people talking about it in passing, they're like, this is the perfect game and my kids loved it and like they just absolutely adored it. And like, I can't remember, I assume this won Family Game at the Game Awards. I assume because it should have.
Yes, it did. Yes,
Yes,
it did.
yes,
Yeah, I was really
good.
happy that it did actually.
Good because like it's so fun.
The really cool thing I liked about it too is, so in true Kirby fashion, you can take on abilities of all sorts of
Yep.
things. You didn't have to take on a specific ability. You could do it in whatever one you wanted to do. I did. So like one of my kids might have liked having a sword. The other one might like having ice powers. It didn't matter which one they did. They could still achieve the things you needed to achieve.
That would be super hard to make. Like,
I imagine so. I think there were areas where it only gave you an option, like for a boss or something like that. But yeah, it was really good. Like it was just a solid, well-made, fun family game.
it wasn't the only Kirby game that came out this year, but we'll talk about more of that one a bit later on. On the 25th, we also had Tiny Tina's Wonderland release. Who played this one? I wanted to and forgot about it.
Me too.
I think what turned me off, was you, Brayden, who said, do you really think you could do Ashley Birch's voice for a full game screeching at you?
But yeah, like it's so funny because you get Ashley Birch in Horizon doing Aloy,
And
which is
then-
excellent, and then you also get her
Tiny
doing
Tina.
the most polar opposite character you could possibly imagine.
Almost like she should be nominated for best performances.
I completely agree.
Yeah, but yeah, this one seems like a bit of fun. I've heard it's really like it's actually quite like taxing if you play it on PC. Like it's really like you can ramp this thing up and it will like eat your GPU.
Dylan the Villain in the live chat has said that they played it and it wasn't the best and they were kind of disappointed. So
Are you
that's-
talking about Kirby or about
I-
Tiny
It's
Tina?
gotta be about
It'd be about this Borderlands.
See, that's an interesting, like, polar opposite opinion to one of my coworkers. He played it with some of his housemates and one of his best friends, and he's been telling me about it basically every time we play Final Fantasy XIV, saying it was fantastic. So
you mean people can have more than one idea of what's a good game?
no,
and what's
just
a bad
that like it's interesting that
No,
it's
I don't agree with this.
disappointing for some people, and other people are like, yeah, this was one of my games of the year. Like
Good
it
on
just
'em. That's
feels
cool.
like it should have had maybe a bit of a middle ground, and I've not heard an opinion where someone was like, yeah, it was okay.
Just remember, folks, you're allowed to like what you like. Remember 2 years ago when my game of the year was River City Girls? Because that game was fun as hell.
People aren't allowed an opinion.
I'm not. I haven't
It's
attacking you. I'm
weird.
telling them, the internet.
Has that sequel come out yet?
It shadow dropped in Japan. Like I looked it up. It wasn't. There was no release date. No release date. I looked on Fantasy Critic the other day, and yeah, it came out. Got 8,
Wow.
and only in Japan. It hasn't been released over here yet. So crazy.
What happened on the 31st?
We had the Entertainment Software Association announce that E3 2022 was cancelled, both in person and online, which made way for the Summer Games Fest, which we'll talk about a little bit later on.
We all saw that coming, though, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't expect it to come back, but they've announced it's coming back. They've revamped it. We will see in 2023 as to whether they have or whether it's just...
Hosted by Jeff Keighley.
Well, no, he left the board because of all the antics that went on over there.
No, I believe it's going to be hosted and directed by James Cameron because it's going underwater.
Whoa!
Because it's sinking.
Yeah.
Like the Titanic.
Do you know what else?
Jokes are better when you explain them.
Yeah, because it's like a ship that sank because it broke. A lot of people died.
Oh, it's
Why,
funny.
why did it break, Floppy? Just
Iceberg right ahead.
right. And can
like
you
that.
explain buoyancy for me?
I could, but I'm not that bright.
Okay. Do you know what is bright?
What's that?
Making old games that people loved again in order to get money. And Floppy, what's our next award for?
Well, it would be the best remake of the year.
Oh.
It is awarded to the game that was remade the best this year. Not the best remake, but what was remade the best.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
Not warranted, but it was done.
Are they ever warranted?
Yes.
Money.
Sometimes, yes.
Money.
When it's a game that we like.
Correct.
Chrono Trigger.
I mean, I have some thoughts that I'll go
Oh,
into at the
shut
end.
up. We know about your thoughts. Holy shit.
Okay, so nominees for best remake of the year is Last of Us Part 1, Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed, Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja,
I'm stretching here.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Others, Crisis Core, and House of the Dead.
And who won the Goatsy for...
With a huge win of 41.3% was Last of Us Part 1.
Hey,
The
sure
remake
is.
that never needed to be remade.
No, they had to be remade. Do you want to know why?
Because there's a TV show coming out.
No, because they put the Office in there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Did they really?
Yeah,
They put the Office in
You're
there.
joking me.
I'm
No,
not joking.
it's in there.
I
If
didn't
you
know
go
that.
and play the PS3 version, or even just like the normal remastered version, it says there's a little building and there's nothing distinct in there at all. And then you go and play Part 1, and you can walk around the set of The Office.
There you go.
Also, yeah, like I understand like updating it to look like Part 2, and I can't remember if they did actually like make it like the mechanics of Part 2 as well. But
They tried to mimic it, but there's some things you can't do.
I reckon if you took a still from one of them and showed it to me without comparing it to another one, I probably couldn't tell you which one was which.
But you're also legally blind, so...
That's not true. It is just illegally.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yes.
Floppy,
Yes.
what happened in April?
April was the 4th month. And not much happened, but April 5th, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga was released.
I purchased this game, not only
Did
because
you finish it?
I haven't, no. I was on a Star Wars kick at the time. And, yeah, okay. Point
When you put
proven.
them side by side, yeah.
You just said put them side
No,
by
no,
side.
I said if
Side
you
by
didn't
side.
put them
You
side by
can't
side,
tell.
I couldn't tell you which one was which. Like if you just showed me a still, I couldn't tell you that
that's
was
from the remaster to Part 1.
Which one of the remaster?
Okay, so for those listening at home and those watching who can't see Brayden's small screen that he's pointing in Floppy's
All those
direction,
ones that are listening definitely can't see the screen.
we're talking about the Skywalker Saga.
I love this game.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I got this game because Floppy spoke very highly of the games. It looked really, really
Lego
nice.
games have great fun.
Last Lego game I played was the Indiana Jones trilogy on the Wii.
One of the best.
And that was a fun game. So I picked this up. Yep, this is great. This is great just to walk around. You can't die. You just enjoy the characters. And if you're on a Star Wars kick, yeah, it's a nice, casual, relaxing time in that universe.
It's really what it is. You don't have to think hard. It's a very good palate cleanser between big games.
Surprisingly, actually funny.
Yeah.
Like, I was really impressed. Like, I was not expecting it to actually make me laugh out loud multiple times.
Which trilogy did you start at?
Where you're supposed to start.
Because you can start at any of them.
You can start at any of them.
I went the prequels.
I also started with
I played them in release order.
Oh, very nice. Anto, do you crack on to Luke Skywalker?
I mean, if we're talking Mark Hamill, then yes.
I saw a thing the other day. Do you guys know about a Mark Hamill movie from the 80s after they finished Star Wars?
Oh, when he's really hard ass?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think
what?
I've seen that film.
Oh my god, it was so cool.
Did you? Did you?
To answer Ben's question, however, no, I didn't play this.
Oh, you have no soul.
It's on Game Pass now.
I don't have an Xbox.
Is it?
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Do you have a PC?
Yeah, but it's dying.
Okay. Lego's not that taxing.
This
this one
probably
is a
would be.
Actually, this one is. It's got ray tracing.
But also just like this one, like in terms of value for money, like
Oh, so much. What,
you're
9
getting
films?
9 like games technically, and then like all the extra open world crap. Like, oh my god.
But the DLC wasn't expensive either. It's like $5 and you got a couple of new characters and new areas.
So I bought
really,
the deluxe edition when it came out, physical. So you got all that DLC and you got a little mini.
Did you get a
Lego
minifig?
figure. Yeah, of course
Oh,
I
the
did.
man.
little Luke with the milk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've still got that sitting on my shelf.
What else came out?
What else came out was Pocky and Rocky Reshrined released.
This is for me.
Good, because I don't know what it is.
What is this?
I don't think I've got a video. I should have got a video. But this game came out on the Super Nintendo. It's a super expensive game now because of how expensive it is. It's basically a isometric brawler or almost a shmup where you play Pocky or Rocky. Pocky is a Japanese girl. Rocky is a raccoon. And you just go along shrines, beating up, shooting, killing evil spirit things. And it's a really good time. The cartridge I have only seen once in the wild, and it went for about $250. Super rare. Super rare. There we go. Anto bringing it up.
Is this Reshrine?
Oh, I remember
This is
seeing
Reshrined.
footage of this.
Yeah. So, great game.
It's like a bullet hell.
Yeah. It's one of King Kaiju's favorite games ever.
Damn.
I remember seeing about this.
Fun. Is that a Tanuki?
It is a Tanuki. I said raccoon, but
You know
was
how
totally a
long,
Tanuki.
how old I was like? So I'm
Well,
pretty
look
sure
at
I
that
had
Shinji Ito character.
multiple children before I realized that Tanuki was a real thing.
Well, it's
They're
not a
not-
real
Well,
thing.
no, but it's not just a Mario thing, right?
No,
Yes.
very different from Mario as well, because Tanukis, classically, giant balls. Big old massive balls that they use for gliding.
I forgot that's what you talked about last time. I probably shouldn't have brought it
No,
up.
big hairy nuts.
Yeah,
the
but-
old Tanuki.
Isn't
So-
it criminal that like the Tanuki and the red panda exist? Like that's two cute animals.
It is, but do you know how you tell the difference? Red panda doesn't have massive testicles. Good authority.
Also quite red. But hey. Also coming out in April was Nintendo Switch Sports.
A game with also having big balls.
Also, which
Volleyball.
I have found most people just calls, have you got Wii Sports for Nintendo?
Soccer balls.
And
You got Wii Sports for the Switch.
I grabbed this. It is
good fun.
totally that. It is just the Wii game looking prettier.
What's your favourite sport?
I haven't had a crack at golf yet.
I also haven't tried
I've got a
golf.
hint for you. Golf is golf.
Yeah.
I just like the bowling. I'm always...
Everyone
Bowling
loves the
is-
bowling.
Everyone loves
Bowling
bowling.
is a winner no matter what.
It is. It's-
What I didn't like about it is they made it a competition where like you have to.
Is it like a campaign?
No, so they divvy it up into 4 rounds. So the first 3 and like the top 10 go through, and then the second 3, the top 8 go through, and then the last 3, the top 4 go through.
Oh, is this for like online stuff?
Well, I think it's just even playing casually.
Oh.
But yeah, you can also get different styles and have a what's it called? Not a loot box, but what's the word?
Have you seen
Cosmetic?
Cosmetic thing where it changes each day and you can earn points and get different cosmetics for your characters and whatnot.
Have you seen the accessory pack you can get for it? Where you get like the actual swords and golf clubs.
No.
and,
I had that for the Wii. That was so bad. Oh my
But
God.
the swords that you use, for some weird reason, in the blade have Switch cartridge slots that you can keep your games in while you're swinging the sword.
Why?
I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
That is dumb. Did you play any sports, Anto?
I didn't pick this up because I still own Wii Sports.
Yeah, that fair call.
Fair enough. But the Mii's are so much prettier now.
I disagree. I think the original Mii's are still cooler. You can turn them into monstrosities.
You can.
Look
make
at that!
them
Look at that
monstrosities.
bearded fellow right there. Was that me?
It was.
It was you, but a bit more tan.
May came around just after April, as it always does, apart from that one time, but we don't talk about that. On May 1st, Embracer Group announced its intent to acquire the assets of Square Enix Europe, including studios Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, along with associated intellectual properties from Square Enix for millions. The deal closed August 26, 2022.
I have one point of note.
Yes.
I was scrolling through the run sheet.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I'll see if I can find a cool video for this. Why do the top two thumbnails that come up when you search this on YouTube, why do they look like the same person?
They're not.
They're
Are they
not
not
the
the-
same. They're different channels.
So for podcast viewers, we're looking at a white guy with a beard.
He's got a goatee.
It's a very
mustache,
specifically cut goatee and.
Or he's got an
moustache.
undercut.
and
He's
like
got an
the
undercut.
facial structure's the same. It's weird.
I will
Brayden,
just say,
all white
I didn't,
people look the same.
I
I
didn't
know.
read your thing, and I just saw that and assumed it was the same person.
Yep.
Yeah, same.
Wow.
But yeah,
pretty
apparently next Tomb Raider game has been announced, and Amazon will be producing it out of Amazon Games.
So that bodes well.
And we all know why Square Enix got rid of all this, don't we?
NFT.
NFTs. Anto, you're quite the Square Enix knowledge base. What do you think of them doing this?
I'm fairly confident based on what a lot of the sort of head game designers of certain studios at Square Enix and certain departments have said. None of them are happy with the NFT push, and it's just the CEO of Square Enix who wants to get into it. Now the market's died.
Yay.
What? No.
So, yeah, I know at least one developer, Naoki Yoshida, the lead game designer of Final Fantasy XIV and current game lead of 16. He's using the clout he's built up over the last 10 years by resurrecting Final Fantasy XIV to say, no, if you put it in, I'm done, I'm gone.
Wow.
You know what? I'm kind of glad NFTs are dying. I still don't really understand what it is.
Who would have?
Now I don't have to worry about it.
seen?
Are you ready for an absolutely bonkers fact that I'm about to drop?
Oh,
in?
everyone's told me, and I just don't understand how it's a thing.
Okay. You know what company are still actively doing NFTs?
What?
DC Comics.
Oh, for
I'm not even joking you. They are still actively doing NFTs. Go
Why?
to their socials and look, and you'll see little posts, and you'll be like, why are they showing different grades of this cover of this comic? It's because they're doing NFTs.
because they haven't lost enough
Wow.
money in the past couple of years. They just want to burn some more.
Man, it's crazy.
On the 10th, Electronic Arts formally withdrew its license with FIFA after nearly 30 years.
Good.
Why? Why good?
Because FIFA is an disgusting, most evil
As a
corporation on the
company,
planet.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they were with EA.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like, I think, what are they calling it now? The EA Football League or something like that?
yeah.
No, it was EA.
Oh, because they made it just a live service game now. haven't
EA
they?
Sports.
Yep.
Something EA Sports. Something like that.
It's
In the
Yeah.
game.
All right, time for another Goatsy Award. All right, this time it's for the Indie Game of the Year. And this is awarded to the game that was made by an indie this year and is the best. Very important.
Very clear.
Very important.
Almost really bad way of. That doesn't matter.
Nominees
I
are...
love when you guys just parachute out of scenes.
Nominees are Stray, Tunic, Neon White, Sifu,
My game of the year.
Oli Oli World, or as recommended by one of our votees, Cult of the Lamb.
Ooh,
I
very
am
good shout.
hearing so much stuff about Cult of Land that I think I have to check it out.
I think you do. It's on Game Pass.
I think
I have Game Pass.
Australian creators as well.
They are Queensland people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've only heard good things. It seems like a lot of fun.
I think there's a really cool physical copy coming
Oh, really? Yeah, pick that up.
soon.
Yeah.
How many of these games have you guys played?
I have played Stray. I have played a little bit of Tunic the other day. I finished Sifu. I have played some Oli Oli World. I quite a bit, actually.
No. I wanted to play Stray. I haven't done that yet. I've played Tunic and I've played Sifu.
Oli Oli World, I don't think it's ever going to win Game of the Year for India or anything like that, but it is definitely worth checking out. It is really cool.
Yeah.
It is, imagine Tony Hawk as a 2D side-scroller.
Yeah.
It's just
such a fun concept.
It is another one of those. It's a perfect example of another one of those just one more turn games.
Yep.
Like just one more run, just one more run. Ah, shit! It's 4:00 in the morning.
Anyway, Stray
supposed to
won
be
with
at
70.4%.
Yeah, dude.
Stray just cleaned up, as
Well
we
done,
know it
Stray.
would. They did exceptionally well for this. Is their first game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's why it was
Surely
such a big
they've
deal.
worked on other people that have worked on other things
with a
like
little
that
bit
have
of-
been
with-
rather big.
With a little bit of PlayStation money behind it.
Yeah, well, but this is also was a nomination for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
At the Game
I
Awards.
thought that was weird.
It is pretty weird. Tell you what, I played through the entirety of this game. It was very chill. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't too long.
Dedicated meow button.
Dedicated meow button was great. You could just nap at places. It was very, very wholesome. The cat, excellent. Great work, cat. 10 out of 10.
Great work,
Should have
cat.
been nominated for
Best actor.
Best actor.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I get why it has such a public support behind it. It's a game about a cat, and I love a cat as much as the next guy. But
That physics
also
detection.
Sifu, man.
Sifu was
Sifu
we
got-
talked about it. Sifu was my game of the year.
Sifu got really, really undercut
Shafted.
by a lot of stuff.
Sure did.
I think it was like that. And did Trek to Yomi come out at roughly the same time?
It feels like it was around the same time.
Probably.
too.
Because
I
Trek to
think so.
Yomi was,
Your expectations were really, not your expectations. Your hopes were really high. For it.
and they were dashed so badly. But you know what? Yeah.
I'm going to go with Cult of the Lamb, not on Game Pass because I
Anto-
tried to download it.
Do you want to have a quick word about Cat Game?
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I watched my partner Coda play. I think it took her about between 7 and 9 hours to finish it.
That sounds about right.
Did you do it in a day?
Run. Adored it. Has done, YouTube videos on whether or not the ending is actually better than it was presented.
Ooh.
Without spoiling anything, there is a YouTube video out there that explains exactly how far the cat travels to get home, which is really cool. Yeah, it was just adorable. It was a really well put together game. Price point, I think, was perfect. It was like $10 or so less at release than most other, I guess typical AAA games. Yeah, I like cats too. I've got 4 of them at home. So
You got 4?
Well, 3 3/4. One of them's missing a leg.
yeah, one's missing a leg, but that was her own fault.
Yeah.
And as we all know, one leg is a quarter of a cat.
That is
Well, they got 4.
A cat is made up of
just legs.
just legs.
It's just legs.
And there we go. Coda's just piped up. Cat like Sparky. Best game. I think it's probably, along with Horizon, her game of the year.
Nice.
Nice.
Floppy,
Yes, mate.
what happened in the middle time?
Oh, the middle time. There was a bit of stuff going on in the middle time.
The middle
you
time?
know.
The
Yeah.
middle time came
that-
came up fast.
The mid-length.
June. June, not as good as the movie, but all right month.
Oh, excited for that sequel.
I am.
I'm excited for that month.
10th to the 16th of June, due to the cancellation of E3 2022. Several presentations similar to it were made, including shows in association with the Summer Games Fest. There were some big announcements.
Just we're seeing Jeff Keighley on the screen. Little known fact: Jeff Keighley had just eaten 4 babies before he came on stage.
Shit presenter.
Well, that's why he's constipated with all that baby flesh.
It's weird where you go, man.
He did it, not me. I'm just reporting it. Jeff Keighley.
Just shout out to this being on screen. Just they have too much money. This presentation for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was just stupid.
It was like the size of a warehouse.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Anyway, what do you...
Big announcements included the Last of Us remake,
Yep.
which
Part one.
we've seen.
Can't believe that was announced and then released like a couple of months later.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
It is
Like,
how it should
I
be.
wish that was how everything was.
Callisto Protocol, which came out a couple of weeks ago,
And we'll
which
talk
I've got
about-
sitting on my cupboard at home, waiting for me to finish Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
And then I'm very excited to jump to that. Saints Row, which came and went.
yeah, that wasn't received rather well, was it?
It really wasn't. Like I think it was. It was a fine game. It worked. It's just not what people wanted. out of a Saints Row game. They wanted more Saints Row. That's all it had to do. Gotham Knights was announced, which I am currently playing at the moment. Did not have heaps of hype about it, but I think
it did at the start, and then that first they are distinctively
gameplay.
Yeah, the first gameplay came out, and there was a shift then because people just went, "Oh,
yeah," but I don't know why.
Oh,
Like it's literally
Because
exactly what they said it was going to be.
I think at the time people thought it was going to be a game of service at that time, even though it wasn't.
Yeah, they never said that.
They never said it.
I think it suffered from what I think people expected it to be something that they thought it was going to be when no one ever said it was going to be that. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean?
They thought it was going to be an Arkham game.
Yeah.
Like the HD Switch. Like everyone thought that was going to happen, but they had no reason to think that was going to happen.
It's going to happen next year.
No one had said.
Oh, Anto's confirmed it.
Sorry?
Anto just confirmed it. He said it's going to happen next
It's
year.
going to happen next year for Tears of the Kingdom. Calling it now.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll just come out and chug like Scarlet and Violet. The other thing that came out was Plucky Squire.
Do you know what else is going to come out?
What?
These fists. I want to start smashing people in the face.
What's Plucky Squire?
Plucky Squire. Haven't you heard of Plucky Squire?
And why are you smashing people in the face for
Because
it?
you're talking bad things about Tears of the Kingdom.
I was talking about Pokemon, you twit.
Besmirch Sir Bowser.
Yeah.
And Cult of the Lamb was announced.
It was. But yeah, Plucky Squire is one of the Australian game designers who designed a lot of the Pokemon. He's brought out his own game. You remember that one? It's one where it's like a side-scrolling. You think, oh yeah, that's cute. And then it jumps off the page and you're going into the real world.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, great game.
That looks like a bit of fun.
It is.
Looking back, was it a good show?
I personally hate the name Summer Games Fest. I think it's the worst, most CEO-focused.
You
also
can
in
only
win-
watch this if you're in the Northern
It
Hemisphere.
was also in winter, yeah.
Yeah. But like,
Idiots.
It just reeks of
Corporate. Would you rather them call it Q4?
Or just come up with something like, it's just so unimaginative.
Spring break.
And I mean, I know Keeley does a lot of good stuff for the industry and whatnot, but really, Keeley, you're boring as hell, man.
He's really good for the industry. He's just got to hire someone else to do the stuff that
Sydney
he
Goodman
does.
does all his pre-shows. Sydney Goodman is a fantastic host. Just let her
He
host
should
it.
do the pre-show,
Yeah.
and she should do the main.
Yeah.
In the live chat, We Are Rabbits has asked, was Plucky Squire released?
Not yet. Next year.
I
2023.
was wondering
delayed,
because
or-
like that looks fantastic, and I want to play it, but I kind of thought it had dropped off the face of the earth, and we were never going to see it again.
No, 2023. I think it's been confirmed to be coming out.
Wild year.
What else, Floppy?
So then on the 10th of June, Mario Strikers Battle League release and wasn't the best. You know what? I didn't hear anything about this after it just kind of came and went again.
It is very rare for a Nintendo game, especially when it was announced. People were really hyped for the announcement and for it coming out.
People who were so excited for it.
And it just sort of petered out, and people went, "Yeah,
was
it's
it
not a good
bad
game."
or was
Just not a good game. Just
Some
not
of
fun.
some of the streamers I've watched play it say it's a mechanically sound game. It just doesn't quite have the punch of the previous Mario Strikers titles.
Yeah.
It also didn't help that this seems to be like a general consensus across like people who like this series. They took out Daisy and gave her as DLC later, and people were mad about it.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
little
every right to be mad about
Having
that.
said that, it's very Nintendo.
Did they charge for the DLC or was it free?
I believe it was a free update about 4 months after the game
Oh, well,
launched.
that's not that bad,
not as
Ben.
bad.
No, that's okay. That just means that they were trying to maintain your interest and getting you to come back and play it after you dropped off.
That's only a yellow card. That's not a red card.
Yeah. Look at this. Sports person here.
Football reference.
Love all the sports, don't you, Brayden?
For the American viewers, we're talking about soccer, not football.
Or
That's blasphemy from where you're from.
I'm clarifying for our American audience. I don't
doesn't
give
know
two
what football
craps
is.
either way.
for the Australian audiences, not AFL.
Yeah.
And then on the 16th, a game that came out and did make waves. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
This was also one of my Game of the Year
So
contenders. Did you play this, Brayden?
I didn't get a chance to end up playing
Idiot.
it, but it looks so good.
Brayden, it is so good.
Play
It is. So this is obviously based on the original Ninja Turtles arcade game, which was just a coin muncher. It just ate all the coins. No, that's different. That's the cowabunga
That's not in
collection.
that one, though?
Oh, no, it's in that one.
Yeah, that's why I remember.
Oh, right.
Oh, the original one is.
Yeah. What they've done is they've taken that, and it had multiple sequels because they were just churning it out for home console systems.
Yep.
And they've actually taken aspects of each of those sequels and put them on not only in the game, but in a linear progression. So the first couple of levels you play are very reminiscent of the first arcade game.
Okay.
Then the second bunch of levels or so are very reminiscent of the sequel. And then the third is like Turtles in Time. You go to the future and fight the Triceratons and all this.
Okay, I respect that to the millionth degree. That's
It is
excellent.
clearly made by fans of the series because they've like throwing the foot soldiers at the screen
Yep.
was something that happened in the original arcade game almost perfectly. People like falling down the sewer hole,
Yep.
and you just seeing the turtle's eyes and going, "Who turned out the lights?" is from the original arcade game.
Isn't it amazing that like when you get fans of the series to make a new game in the series, it ends up being the best one? Here's looking at you, Sonic Mania.
Thank you for mentioning it. I was just about to.
Yeah, because like, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
They're gonna make the best version of it.
And the gameplay was really good. You can play it single-handedly or as a single-player experience.
Single-handedly, one arm
Single-handedly,
behind
that's
the
right.
You can do God of War
one hand.
Ragnarok. You can play God of War Ragnarok with one hand.
But it's also multiplayer. You can have up to 6 people, I believe.
4?
On the Switch, it was 6.
Was it 6?
I'm pretty sure.
All right.
And it just ups the difficulty level.
That's more than the Turtles.
Yeah, well, because you got April and you got Splinter and you got Casey Jones once you finish it.
Casey Jones.
But yeah, man, this game far out was great. It should have got more awards because wow, what a thrill.
It was such a good game. Like I was able to play it with my younger kids, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. They could do it, which was good.
How could you not? It's a beat 'em up. It's so
Yeah, but
fun.
these things can be notoriously difficult.
No, I mean if they're like Scott Pilgrim or something.
But I managed to finish it. Actually, I was on the last level or two, and Anto came over to my house one day, and we sat there and finished it together. It was so good. Just
that's
bit of
nice.
couch co-op.
Who do we go? Who's the turtle we go for?
I think I want to say I was Donatello. I can't even remember now.
You were playing as...
Was that Leo?
Leo. I was playing as Donatello, and then I started playing a single-player game as April, and she was by far my favorite.
I always go Mikey. 100%. Always Mikey.
You would.
Because Mikey's my dude. Michelangelo.
Someone was telling me the other day, I can't remember who, I wish I could, was it one of you actually, about the
Ronan?
personalities of the turtles and the weapons that they're given?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a fan theory. Yeah.
Yeah, like Raphael is the hot-headed, aggressive one, but he's got the weapons that are meant for defense.
Yep. Yep.
And Michelangelo, being the less disciplined and sort of, we'll say, crazy one of them, has got the weapons that require the most discipline and finesse.
Yep. Correct.
Yeah, it was really cool. And there was other things I can't remember what Donatello's and Leonardo's were, but
And just once again, if you haven't read Ninja Turtles Ronin, pick that up. That is a fantastic read. Best turtle story I've read in a long, long time.
Greenlight Comics.
Yep. In stock.
never heard of
Hardcover.
him.
No, it sold out immediately.
Really?
And then we restocked it, and it sold out again. And then we restocked it, and it sold out again. It's insane.
I was there like last weekend, and you
Yeah.
had hardcovers there.
It's all gone.
Even though I have each of the single issues, I was tempted to buy the hardcover.
I mean, the hardcover is stunning.
Oh,
It's
Fool and his
wonderful
money,
hardcover.
my friends. Fool and his money.
Next, I was going to go into our Fantasy Critic winners. I think we're going to save that for the post show. For those of you who are listening, Fantasy Critic was, well, Brayden, you'd run it. What's the best way to describe it?
You know, fantasy football, where you get to you get your mates together, and then you pick a player, and that has that player done well? Oh yeah, they have. You get points. It's like that, but for video game scores.
Yeah.
So it takes
Very
the
derogatory to
takes
people
the
who actually
scores
like that.
from Open Critic, and you do a draft at the start of the year, and then you can bet on games throughout the year. It's a good bit of fun. I really enjoy it.
It is a lot of fun.
We had 2 Fantasy Critics this year. One for just the hosts, which was us 4, and one for us with all our Patreons, or the Patreons who wanted to be included.
who wish to.
We are going to go through those results in our post show, but if you are not a Patreon supporter at the level to get that post show, don't worry. We will be releasing that in a couple of weeks
Over Christmas.
over Christmas when we're having a bit of a break. So you will be able to hear all about it, but I will say this. The host league,
Yes.
I won it the first year.
Yes.
I won it the second year.
Yes.
I was on target to win it for 3 years in a row. And then Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out. And I'd like to take this time to congratulate our new winner, Brayden Dixon.
Thank you, God of War Ragnarok. Thank you, Elden Ring.
Yeah, I was going to say, you picked Elden Ring,
Yeah,
didn't
you,
you? Yeah.
as soon as you picked
that's
Elden
right.
Ring,
Yeah,
that was-
Elden Ring was like an insta win. It's crazy. I'm honestly, I'm not even excited about right now because I'm just excited for next year because like that's gonna be a wild year.
And we
what
will.
do you do if you get the first pick?
You don't
There's
know.
too much.
So we are going to be doing it again. I think we'll do a host and a Patreon league
We'll do
again.
a host of
Definitely.
Patreon again.
Anto, this year I'm going to teach you how to bid for games.
I mean, you did once, but as soon as numbers get involved, I'm like,
You don't have to look at numbers. All you have to do is
Just pick the games
pick
you
a
like.
name. So I'll rephrase that. I'm going to teach you and then make you bid on stuff.
And then like every third show, just be like, hey, have you done anything yet? Let's have a look.
Yeah.
and I should
5
probably
minutes,
follow
I'm
the
gonna
rule of
message you.
not choosing the stuff that I want to win that I know isn't going to.
See, that's what was my downfall the first 2 years.
Yep.
And then this year it was just picking things that got delayed.
Speaking of this year, July was a month in this year, and
It's
we all
true.
experienced it.
Yes. I didn't.
we?
No?
No.
Oh, that's right. You had that trip through time.
Yes.
Yep.
Correct. I went straight from June to August.
Yeah, it was quite insane. But you would have
Wow,
missed out
time.
on the 14th with Nintendo acquiring animation studio Dynamo Pictures. And once they had that acquisition closed, they renamed it Nintendo Pictures.
This is like the most Nintendo thing, isn't it?
Is this a thing? I didn't hear this at all.
So Dynamo Pictures were the people who did some work on the Mario film, and that's why they acquired them.
Okay.
They've turned it into Nintendo Pictures because I think it's been officially announced they're bringing out a Donkey Kong movie with Seth Rogen as
Oh.
Donkey Kong.
Yes, that's so good.
So I'm really excited about that. I'm also kind of hoping that with Brie Larson going out and saying, "Look, let me be Samus," that they do something there.
That would be sick.
Like she's even cosplayed as Zero Suit Samus.
Oh,
Like,
Brie Larson's great.
yeah, she is.
Watch that.
Yeah, you do more than watch that, at least for a minute and a half.
As an animated film?
Sure.
He'll masturbate to anything. He's
Wow.
Okay,
That's just not
backtracking
even
away from that,
innuendo
if they
anymore.
turned Metroid into like a standalone anime movie
Dude,
with
if they
like
made it,
Brie Larson
anime
voiceover,
style.
I'd be super happy with that.
Like this cyberpunk anime, like real edgy.
I
What
was
kind of
thinking
anime?
more like Ghost of a Shell, that kind of old school
Alright,
style.
Real edgy runner.
hey,
Floppy
so
will be edging on that one.
I was wondering when you were going to get to that.
That's it. Nintendo announced more.
on the 19th, they announced that the Nintendo eShop will be closing forever on the 3DS and the Wii U, March 27, 2023. So you can't add funds to your eShop through credit card or anything at the moment, but you can do it through the Switch. So you add it to your wallet. If your Switch account is tied to those other ones, you can still add it, still buy some games. I've downloaded a whole heap of Game Boy games on there and exclusives that came out. We did a show where we talked about which games you need to download.
Download games. Didn't
Yeah,
they?
and the ones that came out exclusively and you want to preserve to save forever. So you've got a couple of months to grab them before it goes away forever. I need to get another SD card for my 3DS, or I could just get one of the many I have in all the boxes there and just put them on that one.
Yes.
But very sad time to see that going, but necessary because Nintendo money. And finally, on the 22nd, Live Alive Remake was released. And as I was writing this, I went, oh, I didn't put that in my Game of the Year picks because that game was sensational.
I spent the longest time trying to figure out how to say this. I didn't know if it was Live Alive, Live Alive, Live Alive,
Living
Live
La Vida
Alive.
Loca.
It's both of them, Live Alive. This was
Spelt the same.
It's an anthology game. So you play different characters in different periods of time and do a quest for each of them, and they all come together at the end. Spoiler. But yeah, beautiful. Like, just, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it every time we see one of these games. Just remake Chrono Trigger like this, please. Please. Give me a remake.
Don't do it. It's fun watching him go nuts about it.
You know what's going to happen? We're going to be here one day, and it's going to be announced at a Game Awards or something that Chrono Trigger's remade like this, and my head's going to explode.
Yeah.
Literally explode, and I
Yes.
will not be able to play it.
Correct.
And I blame society.
It's the only way that can go down.
You know what? You know what my perfect scenario would be?
What's that?
Something like the Game Awards and something's happening, and on the screen it's just black, and then you hear the Chrono Trigger music happen, and Ben flips his shit.
And then they
And
redo
then-
Chrono Cross again.
No, and then they just reveal that it's a new phone port.
Brayden,
Get out.
that.
Or that he's coming to Smash Bros. Ultimate.
A couple of years ago, Square Enix were having one of their sort of Nintendo Directs.
Yep.
And to tease it, in the background music, they played Frog's theme.
How dare they?
I got so excited. And nothing.
That's so disappointing.
And then...
You want to talk edging?
What, well, what they do... was it this year it came out? Oh, yeah, we'll remake Chrono Cross. What the...
To be fair,
No, not to be fair. That's bullshit and you know it.
to be fair, Chrono Cross never released outside of Japan and America.
Who cares?
Chrono Trigger did.
No, Chrono Trigger didn't release in Australia.
Yeah, it did on the DS.
Shut up.
I love it when Ben's wrong and he's just instantaneously, nope.
Now, am I remembering this
Moving
right?
on.
Was Square Enix the people who were like, please be excited? Was that Square Enix?
Yes, I believe so.
At one of the E3s?
Yeah, one of the disastrous
that was
conferences.
Please be excited.
That was the Summer Games Festy era.
They still quote that to this day. Do you know what
Why
you
is
should...
Grug on the screen?
Wow, our American viewers will have no idea what that means.
Well, you should probably go read a book called Grug. It's great.
Well, we've been Hack the Dino. This has been our gaming cast and part 1 of looking back at 2022, the year of the acquisition. That's right, we all went underwater and we got some... what happens underwater?
James Cameron's there.
James Cameron's there. He says
Fart
hello.
and makes bubbles.
And he grabs your ankles and drags you down and says, you're coming down here whether you like it or not.
But it sounds like this.
And there's snorks everywhere. You guys remember the snorks?
Yeah.
Come along with the snorks. Do-do-do-do-do. Play along with the snorks. Do-do-do-do. Funness to be if you're
Nothing
happy.
to see when you're under the sea. We're not ripping off the Little Mermaid.
Brayden, are you looking at the snorks for the first time?
Yes, I am.
Good.
Why do they have straws for
They're
hands?
penises.
Oh.
Little known fact. That's
snor-
It
Also
was
amoeba
James Cameron's first revision of the
That's
Avatar.
This is James Cameron's animated series from the 80s.
Yep, and they're not eyes. That's actually the testicles.
Wow, they
So-
got to a 4th season?
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah, each season was 3 episodes long.
Damn. Do you bet... I was going to say the worst thing.
No, go for it. Do it.
Oh.
It is the outro.
Do you think there's going to be Rule 34 of the snorks?
A what?
I don't
Rule
even want to
34?
know.
Rule 34, there is porn
If
of
it exists,
everything.
there is porn of it.
Yeah.
It's Rule 34.
Oh, I did not know that.
Did you not know that?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's
Where
only
did
one
that
way to
come
find
from?
out. Anto!
No!
And you can become a Patreon and come and watch Dynamore to find out. I believe I just used porn to get people to become
Get your
a Patreon.
exclusive snorks content.
100%.
Dine Only fans, everyone. Dine Only fans.
Yeah, we have to set up that Dine Only fans very, very soon. Floppy's got some chest hair he wants to show you.
Hey, it worked out for Markiplier.
They've seen it all.
Yeah, it was Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. Good old
It was a
snorks.
good time.
Man, do they team up with like Scooby-Doo at any point?
Probably. Do you know what else Hanna-Barbera had? Gummy bears. Bouncing
Gummy
here
bears.
and there and everywhere.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere.
High adventures that are beyond compare. They are the
the
gummy
gummy
bears.
bears.
Da-da-da. Do you ever see Gummy Bears?
I shit you not, I only really learnt about it when it played in the shop over Dan's Spotify. His playlist has a bunch of punk covers of cartoon theme songs.
Amazing.
And the Gummy Bears one goes so hard. And
Nice.
it just does not fit the vibe of like a quiet bookshop. All of a sudden it's just, Gummy Bears! It's
I need to hear that.
Yeah, so do I. I gotta get a copy of this. If you ever wonder what Gummy Bears look like, you can just look up there, Brayden, and there's an original animation cell with...
They also make a potion that they drink and then bounce on their asses.
They take drugs to get superpowers.
And
so
then,
kids,
well, yes, but then the humans take it, get super strong.
Sorry, the villain of the Snorks is Dr. Strange Snork?
Yep.
Yes,
That's hilarious.
it's not
Oh,
super imaginative.
It's exactly what you think it is, too.
Anyway,
Hack the Dino, video games, past, present, and future. But this isn't all we do. You know where our Instagrams are. Floppy, where's yours?
Floppy plays games.
Brayden, where's yours?
Millennial Movie Talk or Greenlight Comics?
Anto?
Final Fantasy.
And I'm Mr. Benjamin, or Bad Game Arts. Thank you very much. We'll be coming at you very, very soon with part 2 of our spectacular 2022 end-of-year wrap-up. But until then, just take these wise words with you, Brayden.
Snorks.
And,
Not just for poking.
but for eating. Just ask Jeff Keighley.